Hey Junction, it's Todd, and I'm here with Nathan, and we're just excited. We have this great opportunity to sit and chat a little bit. Um, Tuesdays, we're just setting these things out, God's testimonies, what He is doing in people's lives in and through Junction here. And so we've got Nathan, like I said, with us. And so Nathan, tell us a little bit what do you do here in the area?
Yeah, I am a PhD student at A&M. I'm studying computer engineering.
Absolutely, and you have used those skills at our house, and we thank you for it.
Well, yeah, sometimes it works better after I'm there.
That's also a true statement. Hey, we're not here to talk about our internet issues, computer issues. I really am just curious, Nathan, just in a short amount of time here, could you just tell me a little bit, like what is something that you've seen God, how have you seen Him at work in your life?
Yeah, so attending graduate school and getting a PhD has kind of always been one of those things that I just wanted to do for a long time. Early on, people would ask me when I was entering undergrad, what do you want to do with your life? And I said, I want to do something new, something nobody's ever done before. So I went to a seminar in undergrad, and that that was that. I knew it was about grad school, and I knew that was the way I wanted to go. That was my plan, and so I wrapped up my degree in 16 and showed up that fall to the first day of my PhD program. And I'm set. I'm on track. Like things are going, and I'm set up to do big things. So God changed my life about a year into grad school. But it's kind of a different story. The summary of it all is I was really broken and self-righteous, and I realized I needed God to lead my life. And I started leading in the church, leading at Junction, really investing in my study of the Bible, and things were going upwards. I mean, like my career was already headed in a direction, but now I was living a life that God had made me to live, but kind of half and half, not totally. My academics were over there, and honestly, if I lost that, I'd be losing a good thing. Like God wouldn't take away the good thing. Plus, it's keeping me here in town. Junction was growing, things were good. So, well, I guess that's a foreshadow right there. So yeah, I've never been the world's best student. I'm just good at taking tests. But one thing led to another, and I actually almost failed out of graduate school entirely. Um, just entirely lost my funding. I was in a dead end project with a professor that we didn't get along real well. I'm sure there's some graduate students out there that know what that feels like. I was kind of doomed. I was pretty doomed academically, and so this future, this path that I had set up for myself, it was gone. All of a sudden, it was gone, and I went from having everything to really, I felt like I had nothing in a moment. I didn't know the way forward. I didn't know what to do, and so I fought side battles with depression. But this was the first time when I was really wondering what it'd be like to fall asleep and not to wake up. That was a really rough time. But hey, God used the situation for a lot of good. He My future was gone, but God was still there. Never once did He leave me. He actually, so in the moment where I was really really deep in the depression, like God sent my buddy Lance over, and he sat with me just until I was ready to talk, and he really loved me. So like Lance, I don't know if you're watching this, but thanks, buddy. I don't know if I ever told you. Anyway, it took a long time for things to change. Nothing like this changes immediately. So I would wake up every single morning and I learned to pray. God, I don't know how I'm going to do it today. If anything's going to happen, you're going to have to do it. And yeah, and God was faithful. He knew I had been making an idol of my achievements. He knew that He needed to break it so that I could learn to love Him more. And so God made a way. I got back into a different program, slightly different program with a new research advisor. I have a wonderful teaching position, but I carry with me today that our God is the God of the way through,
Mm,
and He knows us and He loves us. Even
yeah.
when things are dark, He hasn't left us. So when things don't seem clear, when the way forward is not clear, I trust that He guides my next step.
That's awesome. I mean, Nathan, I'm curious too. Like, how do you see kind of those same lessons that idol being stripped away from you and like having your identity wrapped up in academics and other things. Do you still fight that battle daily, or is that kind of a one and done thing?
Oh yeah, I mean, it looks like different things at different times, because it's never just one thing. Like it's always a root issue. Even yesterday, I noticed this in myself. Just I was really I've been glad for a little bit of this kind of distancing thing, because it means I can spend a lot of time doing my research work, which is things we love to do as graduate students. But I noticed yesterday I would just like research really hard, and then I need to take time to eat. Okay. Oh, I need to go to a meeting. Okay. And I'd always come back just research. And I went to bed at the classic 1 a.m. and I asked myself, like, why am I doing this?
Hmm.
Am I doing this to make much of me? Because I know I've got a paper deadline soon, but am I doing that so that I can do the best so people will pay attention to me? And so really, yeah, asking those hard questions of myself all the time. Yeah.
Hmm. Helps you keeps perspective in the middle of those times. 'Cause, everything can fall apart in a heartbeat.
I
And
mean, really, like who knew that everything could become so uncertain so fast?
yeah, yeah. And Nathan, you know this. The people who will watch us, they don't know this, but you and I, we hung out almost weekly basis. It seemed like during that time, and I was just so encouraged. I just want to tell you, I was so encouraged and amazed because I saw you go from this place of everything is how it's supposed to be to in such a short time to all this known stuff and security was stripped away, and you were left with like I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be here next week or not next. Yeah, I just don't know. And in the middle of that, it was the most beautiful thing because what I got to see is as you struggled, you just clung to Christ as if to say, and you never exactly said these words, but you came really close to saying that you did with your life was all of this can go away and I'm okay because you have seen the beauty of who Jesus is, and He is the anchor of your soul, and He will steady your ship no matter what the circumstances in us. Almost like this idea of like, I'm all in. You're it. My hopes are in you and then nothing else. And would you say that's kind of what went on inside of you?
Yeah. No, that's totally accurate. And a lot of that comes from like a bunch of the story that I skipped
Yeah,
over.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah. And it was the most beautiful thing to see, most encouraging thing to see. And it was just really an honor and a privilege to, um, I never want to see you walk through that again, but it was an honor and a privilege to be invited in to see God's work in your life that way. Well,
yeah.
Nathan, I appreciate you just taking some time and sharing with us here. And Junction, just want to let you know, we live in chaotic times. Right now, our foundations have been just bloop, 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 bloop. The things that we put our hopes in, they've just all been flipped out from underneath us. And people are panicking, and it makes good sense to panic, except for Christ. And so I want to encourage us all, man, just hear from Nathan's story and learn. If you want to know more, reach out to Nathan. I encourage you to do that. But don't consider your circumstances or your future apart from Christ, because that's just a dangerous place to be. So with that, we will see you next week. Be looking for the Devo that's going to be hooked up to this, to look into God's word and ask yourself a few questions, and we'll go from there. So thanks, Nathan. Thanks, Junction. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.